One of my favorite guitarists of all time, Gary Moore, did a song called Parissiene Walkways with Lynott, and the basic intro tune sounds like this. Now there's different ways to play it. You can do slides like this. You can do bends. So I'm going to teach you the notes and the phrasing, so you got the basic tune, and how you decide to interpret it. That will be your own sort of intuition. Listen to some of Gary Moore's live ones. He doesn't play the song the same way twice. He pops in some scary fast riffs as well during the song. So it's a really cool song, but the main part, the melody for me, is just really, really stunning. And when it comes to mode shapes, I'm playing in the key of A minor C major. So if I'm playing from the 6th string Phrygian scale, I know some tutors don't like referring to the modes as positions, but they're also positions as well as modes. There's a two-fold application, not just a one-fold. I'm not going to go in there now. Right now I want the scale shape. It's from this scale. And you can actually hear it coming backwards. And that's what I've actually got written down on the PDF that you have in front of you. Starting with the 12 on the first string. Listen for the timing. Make sure your timing is right, because if you don't get your timing, it's not going to work. You can hear that phrase as quick and then finish with. But enough talking, let's play it through with just the timing. So I'm not going to string bend now. I'm not going to do any slides, anything fancy. Just to make sure that you have the correct timing and phrasing. Are you ready? I'm going to count you in. 3 and 4 and... And the last bar, you'll notice, has got a bit of a change on the PDF. You'll see there's a red 13 and a red 16. That note and that note, because those two notes, the two red indicated, come from the melodic minor scale. Now I'm not going to sit and bore you to tears with the theory of what's a melodic minor and the raised 6th and raised 7th and all that. The same as I'm not going to sit and argue about the modes not being positions. They are both positions and also tonalities as well. Just up front for the guys that want to sit and argue. We're learning a cool song and we're stopping there. Okay, now you've got your riff, you've got your timing, and now we're going to see what can we do with this. Now, I'm playing it over and over to make sure you've got the timing and the tune in your head. Now, we want to add some extras. You want to make it more colorful, make it more creative. So instead of starting on this 12, we're going to go to the 15, which is actually the second note in your tab, and we're going to bend that 15 to sound like the 12. So we're going to bend this note to sound like that. You can hear it. And that note is that note there. So now instead of going 12, we start with the 15. And you bend it down, or release it is the correct term, to the 13. So we're going to go, or to the 15, sorry, my bad. We release the bent 15 to a natural 15. Bend, release, and then maybe do a pull off to the 13, and then slide to the 12. So now we've added some of our own creative techniques. One more time from a different angle, maybe from a top view. And if you look at my picking hand, you'll see I'm only picking one note. All the rest were hammer-ons, pull-offs, slides, and crazy things like that with this hand here. The next phrase, instead of going 14, 12, 15 like this, you try pull-off, and then you pick that note. Okay, that 15 over here is going to be picked. So it's pull-off, and there you go. And the last part of the phrase, you can actually do a pre-bend. So you don't hear me bending up. You hear the result of the pre-bent note. So you can see I'm bending the 15. You don't hear it. I pick it, you release it, in other words, bring it down, and that's your opening phrase. Now, with the term release, I've noticed that some of the students for the first time, they think release means this. That didn't sound cool, okay? That's because that's not what release means. It actually means unbend. I know it's not a good English word, but you're sort of bringing the note back down from where it came. You bent it up and you're releasing it or bringing it back to its original pitch. Now, we're going to do this one more time, the first bar, with correct timing, and then we're going to do it a second time with some string bends, hammer-ons, pull-offs, slides, as we discussed a few minutes ago. Are you ready to play along with me? 2 and 3 and 4 and... That's without the extras. And now with the extras, you'll notice I'm changing fingers. 2 and 3 and 4 and... And it sounds quite a bit different. Notice the vibrato at the end. You'll notice Gary Moore does a lot of vibrato. So wherever you feel that you'd like to add a bit of vibrato, color it in a bit more, make it a bit more your own uniqueness, please do that. I do not want to hear you play it exactly the same as Gary Moore. I would love to hear how you play Gary Moore's song in your own style. Now the reason I'm focusing so much on the first bar is because once you have the timing for the first bar, that da 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 da, once you've got that timing, you apply that timing to the next bar and you have... And again there, you can put your own little extras in. You can do a bend. Similar idea as the first one. Or you can slide this time, instead of bending the 15 or bending the 13 to sound like the 15, you can slide to the 15. Maybe pull off, slide, or you can bend. How you decide to do it, and I know I'm saying a lot of the things over and over, how you decide to interpret it makes it your unique style. And that's why Gary Moore sounds so amazing. He doesn't do it the way everybody else did, he did it his way. So your next bar could sound something like this. Sounds quite cool. And then you go on accordingly. So I'm not going to play the whole thing note for note and break it down and say, well, you can do this, you can do that. Let's summarize. When you want to play a note, you can either play it, or you can go to the note before that in the scale, and you can bend it. If you've got 3 notes in a row, you can do a pull-off with a slide, or you can do a double slide. Again, how you decide to do it, double pull-off. How you interpret this is your own creativity. Now, just quickly on the last bar as well, when he goes, watch out for the 13 and watch out for the 16, okay? Because those 2 notes are from the melodic minor. Now that's the first phrase. Now before I go to the second phrase, I want to go to the chords because it's got a really good chord sequence and I need us to learn to know the chords too, because this helps you with the melody, the melodic development. Big words for that day. And once you understand how the chords and the melody work, it sounds so much better. So we're going to focus now on the chords for a bit. Okay, you've got your PDF. You'll notice there's 3 pages. There's an acoustic and electric and the song page, which has got the chords. I'm looking at the song one now. And I'm looking at the chord progression next to where it says solo 1. So these are the chords that we're going to play. We're going to play those chords while the lead guitarist is going. And for those with acoustic, it would sound like this. Because obviously you can't necessarily get to the 12th fret and 15th fret depending on your acoustic. Okay, but enough of that, onto the chords. Chords are quite simple. A minor, you're familiar with that. D minor 7, I'm just going to do a sort of overview on the chord shapes, not going to go too much detail. F with the G bass, stay with the D minor chord you had, take your ring finger number 3 to the top string, and you're going to pluck now from the 6th string, like that. I'll show you the picking technique now. That over here is F with the G bass, because this bottom 3 is actually F, the 4th string made in D minor 7, and the new bass note is a G note, so it's F with a G bass. Enough of that. C major 7 looks like C without the first finger. Then a normal F. Now B minor 7 flat 5 is actually a lot more easier to play than it might sound. You'd leave fingers 2 and 3 as they are. Take the first finger to the top, pinky goes underneath, and you're going to play the middle 4 strings. Off to E7, E without the ring finger, and back to A minor. Now I'm going to quickly show you the picking technique. I'm going to give you an option of using a plectrum or your fingers. Okay, we're first going to look at using the plectrum. We're going to pluck on an A minor chord, string 5, string 3, string 2, string 1, string 2, string 3. And there's 6 notes per beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, I said 6 notes per beat. I meant to say 6 notes per bar. Sorry, my bad. And it's 6/8 technique, so you're counting, or 6/8 time signature. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, if you're using fingers, we put him down, and we got this. Now, what's very important on the PDF page, you'll notice that each chord has an orange dot. That's the note your thumb plays. So for A minor, it's the 5th string. For D minor 7, it's the 4th string. For F with the G bass, 6th string. C major 7 onto the 5th string. 4th string for F. And here comes B minor 7 flat 5. And I'm going to pause there because this is the only one that picks different strings. You're picking string 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. Where all the other chords were whatever the bass note was. Say for example A minor on the 5. 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. So it's bass 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. And the B minor 7 flat 5, which you're going to hear now, that's the only variation. 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. And then for the E7, stay with the 5th string and back to the A minor. Now, when you're playing the chords, be careful because Gary Moore changes the end of each verse and solo part and verse 2, etc., etc. You'll notice they all start A minor, D minor 7s, but the first one ends on A minor, the next one ends up with A with the D bass, and then it ends off with A minor, F, A minor, and then it ends with the B7, so the ends change. Watch out for the subtleties if you want to keep it the same, but you should have enough for that now. Let's have a look at the last tune. Again, without any bends or slides or anything, your first bar solo 2. And that sounds cool, but it sounds a bit dull. It needs something exciting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it. And you'll notice I slid from the 15 to the 17. Instead of doing this. Sounds the same. So I'm looking for the same notes, just in a different place. So now I'm going to go. And I go all the way up to 20, which is going to replace the 15. And down to the 18. So now my new phrase. And I can do some bends inside there. So again, I'm leaving this up to your creativity. How do you want to play it? And if you listen to the original, the last bar which goes, that's without the fancy parts. Gary Moore does something along these lines which I've never learned, so I'll just bust my own. And what I did there was just an improvisation. So whatever springs to mind that you want to play for that last bar, make it your own, improvise, have some fun with it. And to get some ideas, look at my other exercises on my YouTube channel. Listen and watch Gary Moore play the song live. Get some ideas, borrow what he's doing, look at what other tutors are doing. There's no perfect tutor, there's lots of good tutors. Listen to what they say, steal the ideas you like, and you get a lot of tips that way. Hope you enjoyed Parissiene Walkways. Have an awesome week. Chat soon. Cheers.